Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right, this is going to be a reading on Donald Trump. It's a health reading. He was on Air Force One talking with reporters, and he acknowledged having an MRI scan done when he was at Walter Reed back in the beginning of October. Before I get into that, though, this Sunday I'm going to be recording a video with Shauna Ristic. I first met Shauna at an IANS event in Saratoga, California. She is an intuitive and a healer, certified massage therapist. She's actually my massage therapist. And she has a very compelling story to tell with an NDE that she experienced when she was a teenager and how it opened up gifts for her, especially her intuition. So I'm going to record that with her on Sunday, and I'll post it up Sunday afternoon. It'll be Sunday evening for the folks in the East Coast and early Monday morning for the folks in Australia. And then Shauna and I are going to do a live next Tuesday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And we'll do a short intro in the live because we'll put up the video detailing her story into that. And then we will just jump into the live and answer viewer questions. When I was talking about it with her today, Shauna can read people. She can read, she's a medium, so she can also read folks who've passed. She also told me she can read pets. So if you have any questions regarding your pets and things that are going on with them that maybe you want to gain some insight on, come with your pet questions because she can handle that. And that'll be about an hour show. I'll post up something on the community/posts page to give you the heads up on it. She's a very interesting woman, and I hope that you enjoy her story and her skills. I'll do tarot readings. She'll do she'll talk with her counsel, and we'll answer questions. It'll be fun. So come join us on Tuesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, and we'll take care of that. Now, okay, that business done. Let's come back to the reading here. I spent the last 15-20 minutes trying to put together a timeline of Trump. Now, we're going to go back to August 15th when Trump met Putin in Alaska. And remember, as he was walking down the red carpet, and when they sped it up, you could kind of see him just sort of bouncing around. He couldn't walk a straight line. There was a fellow I was watching on TikTok who's got a PhD in physical therapy and has been doing physical therapy for 14 years. And he had put together a timeline suggesting that Trump had had a stroke, specifically on the left side of his brain, which impacts his right side function, whether it's a weakness in his right side, his ability to speak, right side facial droop, that sort of thing. And I messaged him on TikTok because I wanted him to post it up on YouTube so I could share his video with you on YouTube. I never heard from him, so instead of copying his TikTok and uploading it, I'll just share that with you. Regardless, I put this timeline down. So on Friday, August 15th, Trump met with Putin in Alaska. That's when he was bouncing around on the red carpet. Also, it was described on MSNBC, I believe on the Rachel Maddow show, that Karoline Levitt, after the meeting with Putin, remember, they're only there for a day. After Karoline Levitt and folks were leaving with Trump, Karoline Levitt looked ashen, which either they were speculating maybe Trump said something really unusual at the time, but it could also have been that Trump had an event. Sorry, needed to close the window and close the door here. Michelle turned on the whole house fan, and it's like 50 degrees outside. She's freezing me out of the house. Next, Tuesday, August 27th. He had a meeting. Trump had a meeting with his cabinet in the morning, and then he disappeared. And we didn't see him publicly for sure again until Tuesday, September 2nd. So a full week. Now, there were some, Bigfoot sightings of him in a golf cart like several hundred yards away from reporters. And, a lot of speculation. Did Trump die? Did he have a health event? Yada, yada, yada. There were rumors that Melania was seen at Walter Reed, that the roads were blocked off at Walter Reed. Nothing that could be confirmed. Okay? But there was a lot of speculation, and those are some pretty specific things to happen. Okay. On Tuesday, September 2nd, again, that's 7 days after he disappeared, he held that press conference. Later on Thursday, September 11th, during the September 11th festivities, there's a picture of Trump with his face drooping on the right side. This is my right side, although it might be flipped for you on the screen. Again, a right side droop would indicate a left side brain type stroke. And some folks are saying it was Bell's palsy, but given that we've known that Trump has had strokes before, it makes more sense that Trump had a stroke. Plus, it was later revealed the medication that Trump was taking, he was taking a statin for high blood pressure, but then he was taking another drug which is used to treat strokes. Friday, October 10th, Trump goes back to Walter Reed for his annual physical. Well, it was a follow-up, semi-annual physical. It was a follow-up. Whatever they want to call it. He had, in the doctor's note, it said that he had advanced imaging. That's code for an MRI. And MRIs are used, and it didn't say what was scanned, but if you had a stroke, you would use a brain scan MRI to assess stroke patients. Additionally, Trump talked about the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, which is also used to assess dementia in stroke patients. This is the one with the lion, the giraffe, the rhinoceros, that sort of thing. As of note, when somebody has a stroke, the normal follow-up time is between 30 and 45 days. You can follow up sooner, and often they urge you to do that. And maybe Trump did, maybe he didn't. We don't know, because this White House isn't exactly transparent. But that October 10th visit would be on day 45. So it's in the window of when there would normally be a follow-up for a stroke patient. Today, October 27th, Trump acknowledged having an MRI back on October 10th and said that he had told all the reporters the results, and they were perfect. It's results like nobody had ever seen before, his typical superlatives. And then when somebody asked about it, he goes, well, you can go talk to the doctor. Well, no, you can't. Yeah, you can, but doctors can't reveal the health issues of the President of the United States due to HIPAA. Now, Trump can give the doctors permission to talk about it, and I really, really dislike these reporters because he's on Air Force One, and he's saying, we got lots of doctors on here. You can ask one of the doctors. Why don't any of the reporters ever ask Trump to say, let's get a doctor up here, and you can give him permission, and he'll tell us? I would have asked, what part of your body did you have scanned? Do you know why you had scanned? We'll talk to the doctor. Well, you wouldn't get scanned without knowing why, would you? Come on, you're a very well-informed guy. What were they concerned about? What were they scanning? Why were they scanning you? Hammer the guy. Hit him a little bit. Stop giving this guy a pass. Praise him for being the most transparent president ever. What did you get your brain scan for? No, you didn't put it. You had a brain scan. We heard you had a brain scan. That's true, isn't it? Back him into a corner. Get the information. Call a doctor up there. The president said that you could tell us what happened with him. Please tell us what happened with him. Put the doctor on the spot. It's okay for him to tell us, right, Mr. President? You said it was just talk to your doctor, so we're talking to him. It's okay. Hold this guy's feet to the fire. Okay, let it go. Trump had an MRI. Trump exhibits all sorts of symptoms that he's had a stroke. I don't know if he had a hemorrhage type stroke. Those are actually really severe. I don't know if he had that. because that does require hospitalization. I tried to find if he could be treated for a stroke in the White House, and it said it's really unlikely. They could stabilize him at the White House, but they would really need to get him to Walter Reed. And probably, if there was panicking in the White House, they're trying to figure out how to get him to Walter Reed without anybody knowing. Get him in there, get him out without anybody knowing. Because that's kind of how they roll. Or they could just stabilize him in the White House and pray to God he doesn't die on him. I'd believe that too. All right. Let's read on the potential that Trump had a stroke in the White House and how he's recovering from that right now. Oh, and I guess as part of the story here, just to sort of back things up. Where is it? Do I still have... no, come on. Did I close the story? Don't tell me I closed the story. Oh, wait. It's just further down. As he fielded questions on Monday, Mr. Trump seemed intent on presenting himself as the picture of physical and mental health, claiming, without evidence, that two Democratic lawmakers, Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York and Jasmine Crockett of Texas, would not pass the cognitive health exams he's taken at Walter Reed. He did not say whether he took those exams at his last visit. Let AOC go against Trump, Mr. Trump said, talking about himself as a candidate in a hypothetical future presidential race. Let Jasmine go against Trump. The first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe. When you get up to about 5 or 6, then you get up to 10 and 20 and 25. They couldn't come close to answering any of those questions. He's so smart. How can we... He didn't specify what test he was talking about. Again, and this is all in the fever dream that the GOP has that somehow Trump could be a president for a third term. He'll never make it. His brain is already turning to tapioca. It's just the rest of the body hasn't caught up with it. I guess because he's had a tapioca-like brain for a while, he can continue to present as his normal self, because how do you tell the difference? By the way, E. Jean Carroll had an interview up today on YouTube, and it was hilarious. What a queen. Oh, it was great. I was listening to it on my drive home tonight. Absolutely love it. If I can find it, I'll post a link on the community page as well. But let's take a look at Trump and his tapioca brain. Okay. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. I have never examined Mr. Trump. I don't have access to his medical records. And if I did, I wouldn't be able to interpret what I'm looking at because I don't have the training. But I do have tarot cards. Foundation of the reading is the World card. Guess who's at the end of their journey? Come full circle. Come in as a toddler, leaving as a baby, leaving as a baby, as he regresses here. I think he's at the end. Basically, he's at the end of his life. That's what this is telling me. Crossed with the Four of Cups. His life should already be over with. As Susan Lynn goes, some people are just too mean to die. I think he doesn't want to go. And they've lined him up with all sorts of elixirs of life to keep him going, because he's too stubborn to leave. Underneath it all is the Page of Swords, though. Page of Swords, historically, in the tarot deck, are about intellect. The Page is a young person. They haven't mastered their intellect. So it's kind of telling to me, at the end of your life, you're regressing to a more and more childlike state. And again, with Trump having temper tantrums, you can see his behavior as he regresses that way. But I also do believe that he's not ready to leave yet, and they're treating him every way possible to keep him from the final curtain. In the past, you got the Ten of Wands. His life is harder and harder every day Every day is an absolute grind. Getting up in the morning is difficult for him. Doing what he needs to do every day is difficult for him. Why? Because he's at the end of his journey. He's run out of energy. He's no longer the Energizer Bunny. The battery is dying. The battery's actually pretty much dead. This is one of those ones where telling tales out of school. How many of you licked the top of a nearly dead 9-volt battery and put it back into something because that extra moisture gives you a little more current for a very short while? You know, might only last a few seconds to several seconds to maybe a minute if you're lucky. For those of us who've had walkie-talkies as kids, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't work with a darn anyways, but the batteries always died, but that's how you could get it a little bit further along. Yeah, the Energizer Bunnies run out of Energizer. Jeez. Current situation. The death card. We have the death card and we have the end of life and the end of the line card. He did it his way. Insert your favorite Frank Sinatra version of that song, or Sid Vicious if you're so inclined. Current situation is the death card. End of his reign. End of the line. This could obviously be physical death, but I think what this is there's no more treatments. There's nothing more they can do for this guy, which is probably why he keeps talking about going to heaven. Overarching energy is the Five of Wands. This is the part where this is elder abuse. Trump should not have the schedule he has. How this guy keeps going, I don't know, but he should be relaxing, trying to recover and save his energy. Instead, it's almost like they know that Trump is at the end of the line, and now it's the mad scramble for as much as you can grab. Grab everything you can, clobber the guy next to you, and take his stuff too. It's a free-for-all. I think in his inner circle, it's a free-for-all. In his brain, this is like his brain short-circuiting, and things just going wild. There's an absolute free-for-all going in there. It's almost like the chaos in his head matches the chaos in the White House. Lesson to be learned is the Ace of Cups. I think as his brain gets more and more scrambled, you're going to see more and more breakdowns, emotional breakdowns, tantrums. It's like just explosive emotional outbursts type of thing. Because he's regressing to infancy. You're going full circle. You're going to infancy. Some people obviously will miss Donald John Trump. I will not be among them. But some people will. Just saying. Outcome is the Queen of Swords. Okay, we got another swords, another intellect card here. So many different ways to interpret this. Epstein files will be coming out. You lived your life the way you lived it. This is the way it ends up. This could also be your 25th Amendment card. This is the discussion of the 25th Amendment. And it's being done... The queens, as I understand, are kind of introspective. It's like your inner monologue. The kings are your external presentation. Also, spy in the camp. So this could be the talk. It's like they're talking about Trump's mental health. And, you know... How much longer can he do this? What do we do? When do we start doing it? And again, this is recorded on October 27th. Earlier in the year, and I don't remember when it was now, I asked if Trump would be around by the winter solstice. And the answer was no. Dan Greeny, who's the writer for The Simpsons, who was the one who I believe that predicted Trump would get elected president, also did a couple of TikTok videos where he predicted Trump's downfall. And he wasn't sure when it was going to happen. He couldn't give you the specific date, but he felt strongly it would happen before the end of the year. And that his collapse would be unmistakable, unquestionable. So he also, as a follow-up, said he didn't see anybody in the Trump cabinet taking over. I don't, again, intellectually, I don't know how that will happen because the way our succession is planned, J.D. Vance would take over, but who knows? All right. Will Trump be in the presidency? I'm trying to frame this. How to frame this? Because what if he, the Epstein stuff gets released and then he flees the country and claims he's a president in exile? You know what I mean? But tell me Trump's presidential status as of the winter solstice, which would be December 21st, December 22nd of 2025. And the reason why I don't say the end of the year or December 1st is that the understanding is that there is no really such thing as time in the heavenly realms. It's kind of a construct in the earth realms, the 3D world that we're in, or it's the fourth dimension, as Sterling says. But if you go to celestial events, like the equinox, that's something that kind of transcends time because it's not a time-based thing, it's an event. It just happens to happen on a certain day on our calendar. Our calendar would be meaningless to folks in the other realms, but the shortest day on the earth would not be meaningless. At least I try to fool myself into thinking that. Will Trump be around, presidentially speaking, on the solstice, the winter solstice? Temperance. Detoxification? Compromise? Unity? Wow, some big card. Something big's happening around the solstice. We have temperance. We have the Ace of Cups and the Star card. It's funny. I was listening to Dr. Alina today, describing the Star card. She uses it as the best of America. Hogarth apparently uses it as the pedophiles in the Epstein case. It's almost like, I think around the solstice, we are recovering from a strong emotional event that involved America or pedophilia. I think the Epstein report has come out at this point, and this is the calm after the storm. So the storm has already happened. So this is like the Epstein report comes out in November-ish, and all hell breaks loose, and now we're recovering. We're recovering on this one. After a strong emotional outburst, we're kind of recovering, and maybe there's still some strong emotional feelings here as we try to sort out what the hell just happened. Oh, jeez. I said this is the calm after the storm. This is the storm card. In the past, the tower has happened. It's happened. I asked if Trump would be presidentially around in this time. I don't really know how to frame it. The answer is going to be no. Whether this is the health event, his brain pops, or the Epstein files are released, the downfall has already happened in the past. And now we're underneath it all is us recovering from this. Whoo-wee. Current situation, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the lying, the gaslighting. Everything you told us was a lie. You lied, you cheated, you stole. You broke the hearts of the people who loved you the most. As we try to recover, you did not uphold the oaths and tenets of your office. You did not uphold faithfully to execute the Constitution of the United States. You committed treason against the United States. That's the kind of vibe that that card has as we recover. Overarching energy is the Eight of Wands. Whatever happens, Dan Greeny was right. It happens quickly. Maybe Trump gets on a flight and goes. This is something that Sterling had estimated a few years ago, and it was something that I had that felt right with me too. Just seem fleeing to a country with no extradition. Now, there are a number of countries that fits. Russia would be one of them. China is another. Putin's days in Russia are not long. The economy's a mess. I wouldn't say there. China, I don't think Mr. Ping really wants Mr. Trump over there. Saudi Arabia, oh yeah. United Arab Emirates, sure. I think Qatar is even in there. Argentina as well. But I just think all the stuff in the connections of Saudi Arabia just seems to be the best spot. But things happening quickly, and this could also be flying overseas. The lesson to be learned is the Ace of Pentacles. I think the economy has hurt us. People are rethinking their values. Maybe there's finally so much evidence, the big evidence got released, that lets you know about the betrayal and the downfall. I think that's what this is. I think the evidence, the overwhelming evidence with the Epstein. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with those Epstein files. If and when they'll get released, it just seems like with this DOJ, they're going to hide them forever. And if they do release them, they'll be redacted to hell and back. Again, Sterling, and I'm sorry if I quote him a lot, but I want to quote the people I hear it from rather than take credit for myself. Otherwise, you're going to say, well, David predicted this. Like, well, not really. Sterling predicted this. I'm just sharing because we all watch the same channels anyways. Most of you know who I'm talking about. This could be the Epstein files get released. And now we finally see Epstein files released from overseas sources, not the U.S. sources. But we finally get to see who's who. Oh, Jesus. And the Judgment card. Look at that. Pair of aces. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. Whoo-wee. And the Judgment. The day of reckoning for the Trump. I'm telling you that this hasn't changed. Come the winter solstice, we will be whatever's going to happen should have happened by then. Now, can I be wrong on this? Absolutely. Am I wrong because I don't know how to read tarot cards? Nope, that's not it. I tried to ask the questions. I try to interpret the cards as best I can. Energy can change. Free will can change decisions. There's all sorts of things with it. Me trying to be deceitful is not one of them. I'm really trying to read these things as best I can and share my intuition with you. So, don't go to Vegas and find the dead pool with Donald Trump and bet the house on, him passing or him being out of power before the December 21st or December 22nd. I don't recommend that. What I do recommend is try and use the thought that he may not be in power in 8 weeks' time. That in 8 weeks' time, this could be over with. It won't be 3 more years or 3.5 more years of this. It might only be 2 more months of this. So it's easier to eat, to suffer through the next 2 months. Don't get your hopes up. You know what I mean? Don't he's going to go and then the day comes and he's still there. Because that's just going to lead to disappointment. But more think of it as, we know he's been sick. We know he takes drugs for strokes. We know he's had strokes. The White House wouldn't tell us if he had strokes. But, August, he's bouncing around on a carpet. End of August, he disappears for a week. And then, his face is drooping. He goes to Walter Reed, has a brain scan. You're following the breadcrumbs, like the tarot cards are breadcrumbs for me for telling a story. You follow the breadcrumbs, and it's telling you this guy is not long for this world, much less can he do the job of the presidency. We know J.D. Vance is a very ambitious, smarmy person who is very eager to have his day in the sun. He can't go against Trump yet. He doesn't have the popularity to do so. And he will come with his own set of problems. But one of those problems is not popularity. Trump gets away with things because he's popular and people are scared of him. And nobody's scared of J.D. Vance. And nobody even equates J.D. Vance popularity or charisma with that of Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is a smarmy mouthpiece for Silicon Valley tech bros. He doesn't intimidate senators and congressmen to the degree that Donald Trump can do it. So will it still suck if he's in there? Yeah, but not like crazy man over here. Might he be more effective at getting Project 2025 through? Sure. I think he would be a much more effective administrator of that. But Project 2025 legislation is highly unpopular. Right now it's getting through because MAGA doesn't care. But MAGA is the one most greatly impacted by it, without dear leader giving him the daily dose of everything's okay. And you got J.D. Vance telling that, and then they're watching themselves suffer. They would give Trump a pass. They're not going to give J.D. Vance that pass. His honeymoon's going to be really short. And then it's going to be really angry. And then he's going to be looking around for allies, and he won't have any. Because nobody's going to want to be that guy's friend. Nobody's going to want to bail him out. Because he's toxic. He's going to inherit a toxic situation, and he's not going to know what to do with it. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.